Now, as we know, new lockdown rules have just been implemented in parts of the north. And let's be honest, for me, as I listened to them last night, they did sound just as confusing as the current rules. So I have definitely been guilty of getting confused with some of the rules and have made mistakes throughout lockdown. What do you think, Stacey? Have you found any of it confusing?
I think you're not the only one. Most of the time, I think I can get my head around what they're trying to say because they're not actually giving us much direction, but it seems like the general consensus is use your own, you know, just have a think about it and what you think will be the safest scenario. Try and always avoid any dangerous situations. I am frustrated with some of the rules that they've put in place because it's almost like they haven't thought about it and what that entails and what that means for people. For example, in Scotland, children under 8 don't have to social distance, which I think is a really well thought out rule.
Do they here?
Here, they have to social distance. So my children and my sister's children, for example, who end up in the same household sometimes due to childcare, because we both share my mum as our primary childcare person, they then, if they're together and we're not working, have to social distance. So we find it really difficult to see each other. I find it hard to see my sister with my kids because you try telling a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old to stay 2 metres apart. It's almost impossible. So some of the rules they've put in place just seem frustrating because it's like, have you thought about this in reality? Have you thought about households meeting up with young children and how they're going to actually be able to implement social distancing at such a young age? And then some of them just don't make any sense. I mean, we've spoken about it here.
Who's a bubble? You're a bubble, I'm a bubble.
I don't know who's bubbles who.
Bubbles together.
What do you do?
It's bubble together. I got confused with the whole bubbling stuff. You know what I mean? Can I bubble with Tim on Wednesday and then bubble with Steve on Thursday? Like, do you know what I mean? What's going on? Who am I bubbling with?
So you can't bubble with anyone unless they're single, can you?
Well, and then you found out that one person that you bubble with, you've got to stay with them. What if you get fed up with them in a week's time? Do you know what I mean? It's just so... It's time-consuming, it's draining. Everyone's emotional as it is already because you're missing loved ones. Especially, I feel for those who's got family members in elderly homes, you know, and people that are by themselves. Maybe they have got another family, one other family member that it doesn't live with them. For me, with children, it's just like...
I cannot imagine what it's like to have young children and be asking them to socially distance.
Listen, I can't let them go park on their own. I go with them. I'm not sure what to do. It's a lot.
I think somebody was just telling me that Boris has made a statement recently. He's just made a statement to say that in the coming weeks the rules are going to tighten more. So do make sure you check online, guys. Go to the government website because I believe he's just made a statement. I mean, you know, I'm just going to read a few of the rules. And I know Carol is listening and chomping at the bit. So, legally up to 30 people can gather, but official advice remains that people should avoid socialising outdoors in a group of more than 6, except in 2 large households are meeting. 2 households can also meet indoors, including in a pub or a restaurant, but should not touch each other. The only exception to touching the rule is if you have formed a support bubble. This is only allowed if one of the households is either an adult living alone or a single parent with children under 18. You cannot change the members of the bubble. Stacey. And in the north, it's different. So make sure if you're in the north that you check the website. Matt Hancock did actually say on Monday morning that the rules were crystal clear. But I think they have to hear us that some of us are confused. So the very best thing to do, go to that government website. Carol, I think I can almost guess what you're going to say.
Well, I won't say what I really would like to say, but what I do think is this, that a lot of it doesn't make sense a lot of the time because there are so many sort of contradictions with the rules and what I just find it really annoying that they do it so quickly and overnight. Like people go to bed with one rule in place and they wake up with another one. Like the quarantine with Spain, people actually got off the plane thinking, well, OK, now we have to go into quarantine. It's a knee-jerk reaction and it's hardly surprising that people are not sticking to the rules because they just can't work out what they are. For him to say they're crystal clear, I mean, really, what is he on?
I don't think they're as confusing as they sound. I just think they're a bit contradictory. And I do think that actually sometimes it's necessary to make those knee-jerk reactions. You know, if you think that there's going to be a second spike, you're better off just going, bam, let's stop it here. Because we'd all moan if they took too long and people lost their lives. But it would just be great if they really thought out the rules to accommodate different types of people. It seems like sometimes they're just thinking about what works for them in the government.
Can I just say, though, Carol, on a more of a personal note?
No.
These rules are really getting to us here, aren't they? Girls, after our meeting today with Carol in her box, that's what we call Carol in a box, we miss you.
We do miss you.
We really miss you just being here with us.
I miss you too. I miss everything. I miss everything about that old life. And it does get me down, actually. I'm very, very stressed about it. I wake up every morning and I read the new rules and whatever is going on and these numbers of new cases and et cetera, et cetera. And it seriously, it affects my day big time. That's why I put this colourful dress on, to try and cheer myself up.
Well, know that we are sending you, come on, girls, a big virtual
love you
hug.
so much, Carol.
Yeah, I love you all.
Hopefully
I do.
soon.
I love you and I miss you.
We miss you, honey.